Item number 8, public hearing. All right, so item number 8 is the first reading of an ordinance amending Livingston Municipal Code, Title 1, Chapter 6, City Manager. Legal.
Thank you. Periodically, the ordinances of the city and the municipal code are reviewed, usually reviewed when circumstances bring them up, specifically when we're reviewing specific code sections. Recently, we were looking at the city manager code sections, and there was some clarification that was needed to clear up inconsistencies throughout the code and to bring them into line to legal requirements for this type of city government. These updates include an update to section 1-6-5 from city manager duties to city manager authority to distinguish general responsibilities from decision-making powers vested in the city manager. An update to 1-6-6 from city manager authority to city manager duties and clarify the day-to-day responsibilities of the city manager. Rename and update section 1-6-7 from miscellaneous provisions to bond to articulate the bond requirements for the position. This will result in the removal of subsections A, acting city manager, C, expenses, and D, eligibility from section 1-6-7, which were reorganized. They weren't completely removed from the code. And then renumber and include new sections 1-6-9 related to eligibility of a former council member to hold the office of city manager, 1-6-10 related to the city manager's compensation and reimbursement of costs incurred on the city's behalf and as approved by the city council, and 1-6-11 authorizing the appointment of an acting city manager by the city manager or the city council in the event of the city manager's removal. It also clarifies the provisions in section 1-6-8 pertaining to the removal of the city manager by a majority vote of the city council and other non-substantive and clerical changes for internal consistency, as well as some cleanup to admit like clerical typos. Staff recommends the city council introduce for first reading the ordinance amending Title I, Chapter 6 of the Livingston Municipal Code, establishing the role and duties of the city manager.
All right, council, do we have any questions, suggestions? Once again, this is only the first reading. Yes.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I did have a question on the old section of 1-6-8. Is it okay if I concur with legal in the back room for a minute before I make my comment?
Sure.
Oh, you're on that, aren't you?
I'll follow my way back.
Okay.
Jose, I was trying to tell you that
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I had to ask that question due to any type of sensitivity against any potential past or future litigation, and I think I got my answer. If I may, can you give us a clarification on this item? Exactly how does it, the contracts, how can they be set up for the city manager? Can you still set up a 4-to-1 vote, or is that to be 3? Can you clarify that, please?
The city is always able to contract more restrictive provisions in a contract for an executive position. So the city code is the law of the land up until the city council as far as an employment contract goes. If the city council and an employee in an executive position agree to more restrictive provisions, such as a 4-to-1 vote, they may do that. They cannot go any less than the city code, though.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Mayor, on the item 1-6-8, A, that is being crossed out, it says hearing within 7 days after delivery of the city manager, to where the city manager can request a public hearing. You know, I find that kind of not, I mean, I think we're taking too much away from an employee. Yes, it's an at-will employee, but if that person feels that there's something not right, they should be able to bring that forward, because I think it keeps the council honest. I would strongly urge that we keep that item so that where the city manager does have that authority to request a public meeting. I believe it was denied in the past, and I think that should be kept. So I strongly recommend that we keep that item in there to where the city manager can request a public hearing.
Okay. Any additional comments, questions by the council members?
Just to go off your comment, just want to hear the legal side of that perspective, because I know that in the past it wasn't recommended. So is there
I'm not aware of a specific legal recommendation against a public hearing.
Why was it stricken?
For a public hearing, well, the law actually, as far as there's something called a name clearing hearing, that for a position such as city manager, if there is a decision that is made by the council, so in the required announcement of the reason for removal, if it is something that could potentially smear the name or put a bad influence on the name of the city manager that it is being disciplined, then by law they are allowed to have what's called a name clearing hearing. So it's already provided under the law.
Yeah, but to me, we're striking that out now, but it wasn't struck out previously, and I believe that was kind of denied because I believe that request was made. Can the council still, even if it's there, can the council deny that hearing?
No, not if it's in the code.
Then how was it denied in the past?
I would suggest because of current litigation.
That we take this back? So,
Well, this is the first reading. We still have at least a second reading, so I would suggest because of current litigation to just.
yeah, this kind of comes at a bad time.
Yeah.
And this is why I conferred with the legal in the back, because I didn't want to ask too many questions because of potential issues that we're dealing with. So I won't be able to get my answers that I would like to have. So I'm not sure which way to go on this one. So
So I guess if I'm understanding you correctly, before we bring this back, because the only way we can.
open talk about it freely.
Yeah, okay. So I guess there's more questions for legal.
Yes.
So maybe those questions should be asked later, and then before we bring it back.
I believe that is the wise choice, to confer with legal. I can do it on an individual basis, just to make sure that I don't want to ask too many questions and then jeopardize anything in any other way. But also having this struck out or added or removed or modified may also be some sort of an issue. I don't want to go there right now.
So that would be my suggestion.
Okay, then thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the council before I go out to public comment? All right, I'm going to go out to public comment. Any public comment on the phone in regards to this item specifically? Hearing none. Any public comment or any questions in the chambers in regards to this item? Seeing none, I'm bringing this back to the dais. So I have no questions or at this time, so I would consider a motion, or what do we need to do? Just do,
Are you looking to continue the item?
I would like to consult with legal in a non-public meeting as a information before I move forward publicly. I would prefer that.
yes, and then me.
I don't want to ask the questions in the wrong way, that's all, you know?
Yeah, and just to be clear, that would not be with a quorum of the council.
No, it would not be what the quorum would be an individual consulting with legal. I should have done this in the past, and I apologize for that. I didn't get a chance. I thought we would have more time between closed session and open meeting, but we didn't have that.
It's okay, you're learning, it's okay.
Thank you, sir.
So I think then it sounds like it would be, but a motion to continue the item to the next meeting?
Yes.
Okay.
So I will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make the motion to continue this item to the next meeting.
So I have a motion to continue this item to a future meeting? To the next meeting or to a future?
Oh, to the future meeting, please.
Okay. Do I have a second?
I second it.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Roll call, Councilmember Roth,
Yes.
Councilmember Mann,
Yes.
Councilmember Soto,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Samar,
Yes.
Mayor Moran.
Yes.
Motion approved by a vote of 5-0.
Thank you.